Maine jokes, state jokes. Short Maine jokes. Q. What's the difference between a University of Maine sorority sister and a scarecrow? A. One lives in a field and is stuffed with hay. The other frightens birds and small animals. Q. Why do University of Maine grads keep their diplomas on their dashboards? A. So they can park in handicap spaces. Q. What do you call a good-looking girl on the University of Maine campus? A. A visitor. Q. What does a University of Maine grad call a University of New England grad in 5 years? A. Boss. Q. Why is the wave banned in Alfond Arena? A. 2 Black Bears fans drowned last year. Q. Why did the Maine Regents decide to cover Alfond Arena in cardboard? A. Because the Black Bears always look better on paper. Q. What happens when blondes move from New York to Maine? A. Both states become smarter. Q. Why aren't Black Bears cheerleaders allowed to do the splits? A. They stick to the ground. Q. Why do all the trees in New Hampshire lean east? A. Maine sucks. Q. What does a girl from Maine do if she's not in bed by 10 p.m.? A. Go home. Q. Why do Black Bears hockey players use body heat activated deodorant? A. Because it's the closet they will come to getting a degree. Q. Why do University of New England students have such beautiful noses? A. They're hand-picked. Q. Why did the Black Bears disband its water polo team? A. All the horses drowned. Q. What's the difference between a Southern Maine community college diploma and toilet paper? A. About $30,000 per sheet. Q. What does it say on the back of every Maine College of Art diploma? A. Will work for food. Q. Why did the Northern Maine Community College grad cross the road? A. Better question, why is he out of jail? Q. How does a dumb blonde get into college? A. She applies to University of Maine. Q. Why should the Maine Black Bears change their uniforms to orange? A. So they can play the game, direct traffic, and pick up trash without changing. Q. What's the one thing that keeps Black Bears hockey players from graduating? A. Going to class. Q. Why did the Maine Black Bears hockey team cross the road? A. Because it was easier than crossing the goal line. Q. How is an Augusta girl different from a bowling ball? A. Sometimes a bowling ball is hard to pick up. Q. What do University of New England grads use for birth control? A. Their personalities. Q. How do you break a University of New England grad's finger? A. Punch him in the nose. Q. How do you get a Maine Black Bears fan to laugh all weekend long? A. Tell him a joke Monday morning. Q. Why do Maine Black Bears fans smell so bad? A. So blind people can hate them too. Q. Did you hear that 9 out of 10 co-eds are good looking? A. The other one goes to University of New England. Q. What's the difference between Augusta and yogurt? A. Yogurt has an active living culture. Q. What's the difference between Alfond Arena and a cactus? A. The cactus has its pricks on the outside. Q. What separates a good hockey team from a great hockey team? A. The New Hampshire-Maine border. Q. How do you confuse a Maine student? A. You can't, they were born that way. Q. How do you get from Durham, NH to Orono, me? A. Go east until you smell shit and north until you step in it. Q. What will you never hear a University of Maine grad say? A. I have reviewed your application. Q. Why couldn't the baby Jesus be born in Maine? A. Because they couldn't find 3 wise men or a virgin. Q. Did you hear about the power outage at the University of Maine library? A. 30 students were stuck on the escalator for 3 hours. Q. What does the average University of Maine student get on his SAT? A. Drool. Q. How many University of Maine freshmen does it take to change a light bulb? A. None, it's a sophomore course. Q. What is the definition of safe sex down in Maine? A. Placing signs on the animals that kick. Q. How do you castrate a Maine black bear fan? A. Kick his sister in the mouth. Q. Why do Maine students have TGIF on their shoes? A. Toes go in first. Q. What do you get when you drive quickly through the Maine black bear campus? A. An undergraduate degree. Q. Why are rectal thermometers banned at the University of Maine? A. They cause too much brain damage. Q. What should you do if you find 3 University of Maine basketball fans buried up to their neck in cement? A. Get more cement. Q. Why do they sell so many button-fly jeans in Maine? A. Because the sheep can hear the zippers a mile away. Q. How did the Maine black bear die from drinking milk? A. The cow fell on him. Q. What is the definition of a Maine virgin? A. An ugly 12-year-old who can outrun her brothers. Q. What do they call students who go to Maine? A. Rejects from Dartmouth. Q. What do Maine and Dartmouth students have in common? A. They both got into University of Maine. Q. How many Maine black bears does it take to change a light bulb? A. None. Lava lamps don't burn out, man. Q. What are the best 4 years of a U of Maine grad's life? A. 3rd grade. Q. What does a Maine native and a bottle of beer have in common? A. They're both empty from the neck up. Q. What do tornadoes and graduates from the University of Maine have in common? A. They both end up in trailer parks. Q. How do they separate the men from the boys in Maine? A. With a restraining order. Q. What's the first thing a Maine girl does when she wakes up in the morning? A. Walks home.